Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. I'm thrilled to be here today with a new layout process video, kicking off the Scrapbook Nerd Weekend Online Crop. The theme is throwback, and there are challenges, prizes, inspiration, all over on our Facebook page, Scrapbook Nerd Friends Group, so be sure to head on over there for more information. I will put a link to the group in the description box below. So this is the layout I'm going to be creating in this video, featuring products from VICKI BOUTIN's Color Study collection. And you're about to see the material I've selected for this page. So I have paper, ephemera, stickers, alphas. I got all of this at the Scrapbook Nerd online shop. So I'm going to link up the products as well as the shop in the description box below as well. So I did very little preparation. So you can see I have my foundation page there, and that's because VICKI BOUTIN did all the preparation for me. There's this beautiful burst as well as a bunch of mixed media look on that background paper. I did mat that photo of me back from the early 90s, and I used that black paper there. I showed you both sides of it because that's very typical of VICKI BOUTIN paper. One side is this beautiful print, but the flip side is typically a solid color, which makes the collection easy to work with. I'm also showing you two cut-apart sheets because this is the first time I'm actually digging into this collection, and this is typical for me. When I buy a collection that has cut-apart sheets that I like, I buy two of them. And what I do with one of them is right off the bat, I cut it up. That's what I'm showing you right now. These are pieces from two cut-apart sheets. I have tags. Some of them I left together. Some of them I cut apart. I have border strips. I have pocket cards. All of these are great for embellishing, for layering, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I find it a very cost-effective way of getting embellishments for a collection. I'll be using those today, but also in future projects. I also have a tray full of embellishments from this collection, and the first thing I'm going to do right now is continue preparing my foundation page. So what I'm going to be doing is creating a very classic foundation page. It's a shelf foundation page. So I have that big block of daisy paper there. That's going to be a photo mat, but the others are all going to be border strips that are going to create a layered shelf underneath my photo. You can see right now for two of the papers, I'm using a border punch. That one there is from Creative Memories. And all I'm doing is adding a bit of interest to the borders that I'm cutting. I will put measurements for all of this on the screen when I adhere it to the page. And what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to show you how I'm going to be setting up this shelf style foundation page. These colors, by the way, are really bright and colorful, and they are very typical of the early 90s, which is when this photo of me was taken. So I'm showing you right now how I plan to set up my foundation page. I'm putting two of the horizontal borders as a shelf. I place the foundation page or the mini page map, whatever you want to call it. Then on top of that, I place the final third layer of my shelf, and you can see how I'm placing my photo on top of that. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to adhere it all to the page. Basically, I'm making it central so that that burst comes out from my photo. I'm using a 5x7 photo, or a 7x5 photo, I should say. This could easily be replaced with two 3.5x5 photos. I also want to point out that my photo, I converted it to black and white, and I find that black and white works really well with this collection. It is very, very colorful, and anyway, I felt that the colored photo of this version was lost in the paper, so the black and white really popped off the page better. That's one trick you can use when working with a really colorful collection. Anyway, what I'm going to show you now is my title that I placed on wax paper. Those are chipboard alphas from this Color Study collection. And I'm also going to show you where I will be placing my journaling, which is what I do typically once I set up my foundation page. The next step for me is always title and journaling spots. That's because those are very important to me. You also notice my title is on wax paper and it's multicolor, and I'm going to talk about working with multicolor alpha packs a little bit later on because they can be tricky. But right now, what I'm going to do is establish my two main embellishment clusters, and that's going to be in the top left corner and in the bottom right. Now, as always, when I create embellishment clusters, I start with the larger pieces, essentially creating a foundation layer to my embellishment cluster, and then I finish off with smaller pieces. So in the top left there, I have that large card with the numbers on it, tucked it behind my photo, and then also I tucked in a tag. That there is from the cut apart sheet that I showed you earlier. And I'm also cutting two more tags from that same cut apart sheet in the bottom right. And again, that establishes my two main embellishment clusters. Right now I have two file tabs that I plan to place in the top left. That's part of the ephemera pack, and they're made to be folded over. I decided to cut one in half, thinking I could get two ephemera pieces from one. I wasn't thrilled with the result, so for the second one, I folded it over in its intended use. Anyway, I am going to be using both of them, and you can kind of see how I'm placing my title underneath my photo, and that's going to be reinforcing that shelf design that I'm using on this page. You're also going to notice that when I go to adhere my title, I am going to be adding foam adhesive under each one of those letters. Those are chipboard letters, so they're nice and solid. And also, there are no holes in them. For example, if you look at the letter B there in the top right, there's no holes in the letter B. So that makes it really easy to add dimensional adhesive behind these letters. So VICKI BOUTIN has had other letters like this in the past, and I often pop them up on foam adhesive. So I'm explaining all of that now because I don't make you watch the entire process. There I go in with a bit of foam dimensional adhesive, but again, you're going to see I stop and you'll see the title is completely adhered down underneath my photo. When I come back after adhering my title, you're going to see that I start creating reinforcers for these tags. So what I do is I take a hole punch and a 1/2 inch circle punch, and that creates a ring. I'm going to adhere it around the hole in the tag, and then you're going to see me come in with some black and white twine, and I just add bows to the tags, and eventually I adhere those bows with glue dots. While doing all of this, I just want to talk about working with multicolored alpha packs, because for me, I find it tricky sometimes. Either I want the word all in the same color and I don't have those letters, or the colors end up being identical side by side, and I don't like that either. So as you can see, it's on wax paper, and that's something I do all the time anyway, because I do like to play around with the placement of my title. However, when working with multicolored alpha packs, I find it does double duty. It's even more important for me to put it on wax paper, because as I'm putting my title down on wax paper, I can see, oh no, there are two R's in the same color. I don't like that. Or two letters side by side in the same color. So by using the wax paper, I kind of switch it up a bit. I don't know if that makes sense, but all I'm saying is that when I use multicolored alpha packs, using the wax paper technique is even more important to me, because I can play around with the letters and get an order of colors that I actually like. So now I'm coming in with some finishing touches here, and you can see I have those dimensional stickers, those daisies. It's part of this collection, and I'm putting two in the bottom right and one in the top left. Now these are dimensional stickers, but they're not too thick, so I actually quite like it. And for the one up top, I even peeled off the dimensional adhesive because I tucked it underneath those file tabs. Now I'm coming in with the cardstock sticker sheet, and there's a bunch of words on there that says who, what, where, when, the details, and all of that. And that's a photo of me in the early 90s at my place of employment, which happened to be a newspaper. So those words, who, what, where, when, and the details, was perfect for that. So with those black words and the gold print, I'm putting them on in 3 spots. There in the bottom right, I put one in the top left, and I end up putting one on that Rolodex card in the tab there, which is going to be where my journaling is going to go. So there you can see the page is done. This came together very quickly, It looks way more complex than it is because this material does the page for you. It's really colorful, but it's really easy to work with as well. Just a few tricks I gave you. Sometimes colorful material can be a little bit tricky. I did turn my photo into a black and white photo as opposed to a colored photo. I think that helped. And also, as for my title there, I definitely use the wax paper technique, which helps when working with multicolored alphas. Anyway, that's it. Be sure to head on over to the Facebook group, Scrapbook Nerd Friends Group, for more information on the crop. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the Scrapbook Nerd YouTube channel, we would be absolutely thrilled if you did. The same with me and my channel, Scrapbooking Quebec. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.